Today's course, we have HOLR GC Whispering Pines. It was taken from my YouTube comments by John Gelsinger, is the one who made this course. Asked for feedback, so today you all will be treated to a nice little feedback video. Now, I said I was gonna start this series, and this is not the kickoff of it because I already did kind of one that just kind of took me by surprise. But this is the first official one, feedback series, and I'm excited. I think feedback is very important, especially for people who are just getting into designing. Kind of get a viewpoint of somebody who has played at this point probably tens of thousands of rounds in these games. So hopefully I can give some feedback that you can then take to potentially become a better designer. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer. When it comes to feedback, I'm going to try to be as critical as possible, but with all types of feedback, some personal bias is going to slip in there. It's just the way it goes. I'm going to try to give as much unbiased feedback as I can. At the end of the day, people who design these courses, they're the ones who design these courses. They need to make the course in the image that they want to make it in. So if I say something that you just don't quite agree with, that's fine. You can continue making the course however you would like to, because at the end of the day, it is your creation. It is not my creation. I'm also going to be focusing a little bit more on the just golf side. I'll definitely touch on some things like just the way things look, design standpoint. But for the most part, I am more interested in is how does the golf play? Because I've played some courses that in my eyes are fairly ugly, but the golf play is absolutely amazing. So I get more enjoyment out of that than whether the course looks beautiful. We're going to be doing all defaults, default wind, default direction. The fairways are normal, green speed is medium, time of day is morning, and the weather is clear. We're playing from the back tees, which is 7,382 yards, and I'm playing on round 4 pins, since there are 4 pins here. So we're gonna go onto the course, and we're gonna get the feedback rolling. All right, first initial view. Looks good. Looks good. I like this. We have a little bit of a run along the water. A lot of rock work, so that's gonna be interesting because I know that rocks, can be fairly difficult to work with sometimes. It's got pathing all the way through, nice clubhouse. It's got some buildings on the distance, a little bit of a town over here as well. First impressions, it looks good. It looks good. From just the initial fly through, I like the look of it. But let's see how the golf plays, shall we? Good start, a little bit. I have a feeling these are going to be some tight fairways. It's good work though on the overall design of the first fairway. A little bit of a risk reward. I'd probably push the pathing out a little bit further away from the fairway so you don't get into a situation of rolling, down the path, kind of like this. I'd probably just push it a little bit further away from the fairway, just a touch. All right, here's something that's, again, this is personal preference. We'll see if it keeps this whole aesthetic throughout the round. But personally, I like fringe in between. Going straight from green to rough, I think can work. But as a preference, I would like a little bit of fringe around the greens, just so you can get some of those just putts off the fringe, things of that nature. Now, if you have severe, like contouring, which it's pretty steep. I can see maybe just doing rough if you want people to stay around the green. You don't want them to go into the bunkers. But I think having a little bit of fringe just to give it a little bit of a, you got some over here. Well, I guess that's fairway into light rough, but light rough transitions into heavy. Yeah, it's just a little bit jarring. So I think going all the way around, I mean, you could probably just push this out a little bit and then put a collar of fringe and light rough around. Or if you don't want any light rough, you can stick to the heavy rough too. This first green's pretty good, though. We butter our first one. Close. Yeah, I could see 4 pins being on this green pretty easily. Not bad on the first hole. All right, what we got for a second here? So we probably can't drive that unless we get wind at our back, which we don't have. All right, we'll take a 3-wood. Should stop. Wind in our face slightly. Okay. Probably push this out a little bit further so that people can comfortably use a 3-wood. So I think using a 3-iron would have been what we would have been doing. We would have done 3-iron to another 3-iron. So we can't go for green. All right. Another split. I think here probably you don't need a split. You could have probably, you could keep the rock croppings in if you want on the sides, but you probably could have took this fairway all the way down so that people can, if they want to, you know, hit down here to get into a position to pitch. I think that doing like 2 splits in a fairway like this on both shots takes the choice completely away from golfers. You want to give people to engage them with the course. You want to give them a choice. Like here, I don't have much of a choice. Like, could I hit this 3-wood? Yeah, but I mean, I'm guaranteed bunker. If I fast it, it's going to go off the rock. If I slow it, it's going to go into the water. So it's really, I have no choice here. The choice is take a 5-iron up because I couldn't drive it any further either. But I think giving golfers a choice, like you can still keep this bunker down here. Maybe just level this out a little bit. Keep the rocks in there if you want to. Give the ability to take a 3-wood down, give a little risk reward. Like maybe people like to pitch it, so they want to get it closer in for the pitch shot coming in. You know, give them a little bit of a landing zone down here where they could stop a 3-wood, because now it's just 5-wood or bust, or 5-iron or bust. You know, I just you've put me into the position of not giving me a choice. This is you're saying this is what I want you to do. And that can work. It's just, it's really, really, really tough, especially when you're splitting fairways twice. Once on the drive and once on the second shot. I want people to feel like they have, you know, a little bit of a risk reward. Rocks are hard to work with though, and so far, I mean, these rocks look pretty good. I'm not gonna get too in the weeds of if there's clipping or anything like that. I will say probably lower this. Like you want people, you're bringing people out here, you know? Like you're bringing them out into this little, you know, outcropping of land. Let them take it in. Maybe lower these rocks down into the water more. You know, still have them there for the aesthetic, but when people get onto the green, give them a chance to, you know, go out and see the water, see the buildings you have out here, you know, see the building out here, little islands that you have in there. Because right now it's just like, you just see a rock. It's like, maybe lower that down some, let people take in the site, just for an overall aesthetic. Oh. God. Just missing it by a little bit. But again, I mean, not bad. Violently downhill here. 53 feet down. I think when you're working something like this, 53 feet down is a bit. I think coming this steep of an elevation change, I would probably bump this green out just a little bit more, because you have one here. I'm guessing you're gonna have probably like one up here, one up here. Like, and if I'm hitting up here, I'm hitting a 5-iron in. So it's like you'd have to hit the absolute perfect shot, especially hit the way you have it sloping out. You'd have to hit the absolute perfect shot to get over the bunker and to stay on the green. On par 3s, you want to reward, you know, good shots at least with a putt. So I would say probably just bump this bunker out a little bit, or not bunker, the green out, make it just a little bit bigger. This is fine. What you have here, this is actually perfectly fine, because I mean, I'm bringing in with the wind. 7-iron, I'll probably play it safe with a 6. But this is okay. You got a bunker here. Don't slow it. Don't fast it. Hit a good shot. hit a good shot, you get there. But I'm just thinking about other pin locations here. Like if you just bowed this green out a little bit more, put it out a little bit more, that would give people the opportunity to have a little bit more leeway, at least, to get it onto the green to make a putt. Man, I don't know. I guess first time playing this course, you know, a little bit clipping there, but that's just overall polish. That's all right. First time playing this course. I mean, maybe we should get there. I fasted it, so probably definitely getting there now. Not bad though. I haven't even been paying attention if I see this one though. It goes straight into rough from green. Big thing is keeping that consistency. Like if that's a design choice you want to do, keeping that consistent, I think goes a long way. We get our first birdie though. Again, this looks pretty good. Definitely gonna take a driver into this. Although maybe with the wind, I mean, I might be able to get up over, but that seems like, what's the point with that? Like I said, rocks, I know rocks are pretty hard to work with. But so far the rock croppings don't look bad. They look pretty good. Another thing, so here's another thing, just looking at this and thinking about it. So if somebody, let's say somebody doesn't want it, they want to play it super safe. So they hit it, they keep it back here, right? Like they just want to play it super safe. They don't want to flirt with the bunker over here or anything. They just want to play it back to get a shot in. I would say just to avoid any problems, I mean, I guess people could fade it around. I'd probably just move this tree back a little bit. Still keep it in play, but I'm just thinking on if you have a pin up here. If you have a pin right here, that could get a little tricky. I don't know. I think I'd have to play it and see. That might actually work out, and I'm sure you've put in a lot more time playing this course. Bunkers aren't bad though. Maybe one too many. I think maybe you could probably keep those, like merge those, or maybe get rid of this one, because you're still keeping the rock in play for people who slow it. I don't know if that bunker's really needed there. And you do have fairway into light rough, heavy rough. A little bit of a waste zone over here too. Overall, it's not bad. I think I'd have to play it on. I would definitely have to play it on other rounds and play shots back and see how that plays out. But just something to be conscious of. Uh-oh. I think that's one thing. Some designers, like, they play their game. But you definitely have to go into designing and play it as anybody who would play your course. Because everybody has some different play styles, so you definitely want to keep it fun and engaging for anybody that might step out and play your course. You know, and some people don't use big drivers. Some people play it like really, really safe off drives if there's hazards, things of that nature. The bunkering is pretty good though. I do like it. It's, hey, good. I mean, the rocks look good. Good landscape coming with the trees coming out of it. Waterfall looks good. Looks good. Oh, she didn't break at all. I pushed it a little bit too. Dang. That was my par save. All right, I think this is another example. So, playing with the big stick into the wind, you've kind of hamstrung yourself a little bit here. I like the general idea. And the fairway, I mean, if you want tight, difficult fairways, this works completely fine. I mean, maybe the sloping, because even hitting a good shot here, I think it's either bunker or rough. We'd probably have to be pretty good. But, like, if the wind is a little bit higher than what it is now, I'm hitting this back here, and I don't even have a shot into the green. So you've essentially kind of taken out any other conditions other than low winds either at your back or in your face. You wouldn't be able to do medium or high. You might be able to fade this in, but that'd be a pretty violent fade that you'd have to come into this dog leg. And it's going up the hill as well. So I think for this, I mean, maybe bowing out the fairway a little bit just to give people a little bit of extra leeway to come into the green. Either that or pushing this back to make it a little bit less of a dog leg, or bringing it back here even. So like scooting this all back so that, you know, the big boy driver, the 286, the 275, 271, like I think different drivers, you need the big boy here. If you're not using the 296 driver, like you probably don't have any chance to get in on a second shot into this green. So I think it comes down to, you have to prepare for people who use different clubs. So even with the big boy, the big boy got around. It got around it. Got around it. Maybe even bring the green out a little bit more. I'm just thinking about, you know, people who use different clubs. Not everybody uses the biggest driver. And I won't be able to use any other conditions of this course. Because if you have medium wind, you're giving no reward to anybody. It's just all, you're playing for par here, you know? And nobody wants to, I mean, some holes, I guess, aren't too bad to have that, but you want to give people a chance. Don't go down. Is that OB? Nope. I'd probably make this OB too. I'd probably make that all out of bounds. Putting the trees and the rocks down there, you can get into a situation where you'll just get lost. You won't be able to even hit it out of there. I'd probably make that all out of bounds right there. Getting all. Oh, absolute dot. All right, we get ourselves another birdie. Get that bogey back. Okay. All right. Again, this is a situation. So I'm hitting up the hill. So it's going to take a bit off. This is another situation of, well, what if somebody, you know, has a shorter driver? You're essentially putting them into a case of playing around this, which leaves them in a situation where they're hitting bunker, maybe just short of bunker potentially. I don't know, how long of a shot would that be if they're just short of bunker? Okay, not too bad. So the distancing isn't too bad. Having everything slope in as well. So I hit it here. It's sloping into this bunker. I hit it anywhere left of fairway, it's sloping into this bunker. If I hit it right, it's sloping into this bunker. I guess you'd have to keep it left the whole way. So this is the only place, if you're wanting to play it safe, this is the only place you can hit. And if that's the case, this is where you want people to go. I guess you could try to cut it, but there's just no point in cutting it. Because if I cut it, it's a 75 yarder instead of a 112, I guess. If you're wanting people to hit it up here to the left side, because right side, that's a crapshoot right there. I'm going to hit it right side because I want to see what this does in this fairway. That is a crapshoot. You're giving people a drive that's, this is your window. Hit this window. If you don't, it's hazard. Well, not hazard, but you know, you're in the bunker. So you're really wanting people probably to hit up here on the left side. If you want people to hit up here on the left side, maybe this right side isn't needed too much. But let's hit it up here and let's see what happens. If I hit a good shot. I fasted it a little bit. Let's see what this slopes out to. Okay. I mean, hit the zone that I need to hit it in. So, need the big boy driver. 287 would probably work there. I'm just really worried about just people who don't use that driver. Like, using the short boy, which is what, 271? 271? I think there might be one that's shorter than that, but I think 271's the shortest. That'd be the scariest piss. Oh, what if one of those rocks breaks off or something? I do like this approach though. I think this looks great. You know, good use of the rocks over here to the left. You've kind of, you know, tiered them a little bit. I think the bunker placement's really good. The rock in the back is good. I even like this little, you know, zone past, little like landing zone. So people pull their cart around, park, and then walk up to the green. I think it looks good. Got to stop. All right, get another one. Another par 3. Ooh, short par 3. So like this is a situation where having a green this small, I'd probably make it a little bit bigger, but having a green this small, it's not that bad on par 3s. So this is actually not bad because it's such a short shot. Like I'm going to be putting this thing straight up into the air. So having a smaller green with tighter landing zones on a par 3 like this, great. It's just you got to watch out for, like on par 4s, long par 4s, when you're putting people into situations of hitting with a 3-iron, 3-wood, 4-iron, 5-iron, things of that nature. You want to make that green a little bit bigger so that they actually have a landing zone onto the green. Going back to like a previous hole that I was talking about on one of the par 3s that you had. But something like this is fine to have a smaller green because at the end of the day, you're coming in to it using a wedge. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Didn't want to fast it. Okay. I know the pathing can be kind of weird too. There's just overall sense of polish in some places. But that's getting really into the weeds. Not bad though. That hole's not bad. I think it plays with that distancing, it plays. All right, so we could go for this. We'd have to heavy draw it. It's up the hill. No, let's take 3-wood in. Yeah, let's take 3-wood in. Again, overall, this fairway is pretty good too. You know, you're given risk reward. You can go up here and take your pitch shot, but you're gonna have to draw in a driver. I actually wouldn't mind maybe even another bunker back here. I don't even think would be a terrible idea. I don't mind this one over to the right. I think it's maybe a little bit off. You know, I think just keeping that just flat rough maybe ain't bad, and putting all of the chips into like an inside line bunker. I don't think that's bad. This fairway is actually pretty good. It's a tough one. Gotta come in nice here. Boy, I'm in between. I mean, I think this gives up with the 10 in our back. I don't know. Yeah, I'll be good. Fasted it too, so we'll definitely be good. See, now we have a little bit of fringe. We have a little bit of a fringe work now. I guess it'd be fairway. I guess for me, it's just overall consistency. So like here you have, you're working fairway, light rough to heavy rough, bunkering. On other holes, it was just heavy rough, straight from green to heavy rough. I think consistency goes a long way. Overall, though, I really enjoyed that hole. I think that hole played pretty well. All right, we have a par 5 here. Driver probably isn't the best choice. This is probably going to go bunker, be my guess. I might try to bury it in and see what happens here. Oh, we read fast, so that's what happens. Which isn't ideal. Bunkering is not bad, though. I think it works for this hole. This will work nicely as well. Get into a nice little pitch. Another thing, depending on what you're going for on the course, another thing to maybe be conscious of when you're doing your greens, because I've noticed it a few times here, where it's like this one not as much, but you'll have like your stages. So you have like kind of like this, like you have a place high, then funnel into a place low. So when you're doing that, one thing you have to be conscious of is that you don't make everything around the hole flat, which I've seen a couple of times where it's like you have this nice break, keeping this nice break all the way through. Like this is good, but there's been sometimes where it's like around the hole is just completely flat. And having some flat spots, rewarding people, for good shots in certain locations is good, but there's been a few holes where it's just been flat, like around the hole. And that's just one thing you wanna watch out for. You wanna keep a little bit of break in there. Keep it a little bit, natural with the way that the green is running, instead of like just running, and then it's just like a flat surface. Okay. I can get down with this. So par 4, you can take that risk, and I'm going to. There's really no reason for me to do it, but this is another situation where you're playing a shorter club in, and you're gonna have a shorter shot in, pitch, wedge. So in this situation, having a smaller green is not that bad. I think it works. 4 pins might be a little bit interesting to see where they go, but I think it works. Have this small green. You know what? I'm not going to go for it. I'm going to play it like it's intended. And we're going to play short club down. This all slopes away, from the left side here. So these trees don't really come into play, which is good. That's very good. Very good design. Yeah, we're bringing a nice little gap wedge pitch shot in. Bunkering works very well. Yeah, this whole play is great. This is good. I like this. This has got to go. Nice. No, this looks good. I like it. Good view, too. Yeah, that was a good hole. I like that a lot. Move to 4 under. Okay. So we have a choice here. You can play it back short. You're going to have to bring a 3-wood in. This looks like the fairway kind of works with us. We're going to have to fade this around, which I'm okay with. Putting people into a position where they have to make a golf shot, I'm all right with. We facet it. Let's see how this fairway slopes out. Fairway slopes out nicely. No, that's good. I'm all right with that. The only problem I would have had is if you're putting people into a position of doing this and it just all slopes, away, just straight into the rough. But keeping people, moving in the direction you want them to move in, I think that works well. Oh my gosh, imagine hitting this short, trying to come into this one. Woo. You'd probably have to hit it here and roll it up in. How fast is it? Oh, this is probably going deep. Maybe it comes back. Maybe? You bastard. All right, we got a little bit of a downhill putt here. I like this green a lot too. Like, this is a tough green. You gotta hit a good shot coming in here on this side. Looking down here, definitely a little bit. This is definitely the tough pin for sure. I actually think you might even be able to get away with doing a 3-tier here, making this a little bit more steep, coming down into a final 2 pins, or even putting a pin here and a pin back front, here somewhere, making this like a couple of tiered system where it's you got your pin here, maybe a couple of pins here, and then one front side, maybe even shaving some of this green off. You could have probably done a lot of different things with this one. This green's pretty good though. Again, it just depends on what you're looking to do. Like I said at the beginning, at the end of the day, this is all all of the people who make it's your design. Do with it what you want. You know, if I say something and you're like, that's just not what I wanted to do, then, you know, I'll fuck off. Like, it doesn't matter. You're the one designing it. I'm just the one playing it. Break. I can give her. Damn. That was a good hole. Out the big dog. Put her right on through here. Again, this is a pretty good green. This is a pretty good green. Yeah, I mean, I like this green a lot. This is good. Got some trees to work with, you know, don't fast it, don't slow it. Because I'm guessing there's no OB. Yeah, if you fast or slow it, you're going to be declaring unplayable, that's for sure. I could get a little nasty, but... Oh, this looks good. Especially when we make it. Okay. Hey, good shot. I will take that. Here we are. All right, we got another par 3 here. Probably one of the toughest greens we've done. One thing I will say, I really want to fade this. Like, I really want to fade this. But you've put in this big tree here to the left. I think this 4-iron can get over it. But that's just something to definitely be conscious of when you're creating, especially with different winds. I think this 4-iron can get through. But I think maybe you probably could have pushed this in all these trees just back a little bit. I think it would have played a little bit better. I mean, we're gonna see. I think the 4-iron gets around it fine. It's just... Yeah, it does. So I guess that plays okay. I guess it just gave me a little pause of caution. That did exactly what not exactly what I wanted. It was way too far right, but it played how I wanted. I just want to make sure I don't hit this too hard down this hill. Be very, very gentle. Dang. I'll still work though. I like this green too. You gave really good natural protection there. Right at the front of the green, all sloping, you know, down towards the hole. I think that worked out really well. Another split fairway. I mean, if that's like an overall design that you're wanting to do, I think it's fine. I just think you gotta... I think split fairways are best used. I personally, I would say split fairways are best used sparingly. You've done it a lot on this, and I don't mind this one. I would say that the only thing is, like, again, you're making me use the 3-wood, right? Driver isn't going to get there unless I have the wind at my back. It might not be bad to push the fairway out further. Now, I guess that would take away from what you're trying to do with distancing. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the concept of this hole, because I feel like this is just slightly wasted, because nobody's probably ever going to use this because it's such a short hole in the first place. I think maybe like pushing it the hole back further, allowing people to use driver, and cutting off this part of the fairway and just perching a green up probably wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, it's tough to know. Even bringing a wedge in, I think par 4. I think this is the green's a little bit too small, especially if you're doing 4-pin. If you're doing 4-pin, 2-pin, this works fine. 4-pin, I think you have to leave the room for the 4 pins if you're making a 4-pin course. So I think making this just a little bit bigger, the plateauing that you do here, this is all fine. I would just say push the green out a little bit on both sides. You can just move the bunkers over. That would give you position to put a pin, you know, here, put a pin back, put a pin front side, and put a pin left side as well, left side back. If you're doing 2-pin, I think this is fine. And I don't mind this green at all. But knowing that there are 4 pins, I just think the green needs to be a little bit bigger. Even if we are still just bringing in a wedge. You can get away with it on a par 3. A lot easier than you can on a par 4. But the green works well for what you're doing. Another situation where it's like, see how it's sloping, and then it's just all flat here? That's just something you have to be conscious of. I think keeping natural contouring of the green going, sloping, I think works out very well to just add not only a little bit of challenge, but also to keep it a little bit more, I guess, realistic in a way. It's really hard to get a completely flat green. But again, it depends on what you're looking for. But like another situation where it's like all flat. I guess there's a little bit here, but maybe, you know, sloping this off some, pushing this back and sloping this off a little bit. Give yourself a little bit of a, you know, like a ridge in a way, you know, might not have been bad. Got good sloping over here. You know, you're putting a pin over here probably. See, it's sloping. This one isn't too bad. It flattens out a little bit and then picks back up. So that one's not too bad. This is just a huge swath of barely any break there. But I mean, if that's what you were wanting to do, if that's what you're going for, you know, rewarding people for good shots, keep on keeping on. That's going to get way far right. But we weren't punished too much. From this angle, I mean, around the cup looks pretty good. Like for the sloping. Around the cup looks pretty good from this angle. And sometimes you'll get that. That's just the way that the grid is set up. It depends on where you land. It depends on how it's drawn out. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. The direction you're facing. That's why I'd like to see like a heat map come into play. Because I think that would just help designers out so much. Oh. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good. We're gonna try to get it up there. This hole's pretty good too. Hit a bad shot, you got a bad shot coming up. Reward good shots, punish bad ones. I'm always for that. Nice. I mean, this hole worked out pretty good. I like it. I think in certain instances, like with your bunkering, you probably could just make, you know, a bigger bunker. But if you're looking just to do, you know, several bunkers in one location, then that's a design choice. That's yours. All right, this is going to be downhill. I mean, we got to take driver out here, but... Oof. Well, I don't know what this is going to look like. All slopes in towards the bunker. Again, that's another situation where it's like, you really want me to use a shorter club, but the shorter club just doesn't play with this hole too much. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I would do with this one. If anything. Bump the fairway out a little bit more. I don't know. Like around the trees. I mean, we could still get up here for a birdie, so it's not like it's the end of the world. I mean, it's one of those things, risk reward. I hit a good drive there. I might get rewarded. The way that the sloping works, I feel like the sloping is always against me. Like there's no like good place to hit it, but the more I play this course, maybe there is. Probably just have to play it a few more times. But there is a point where it's like, there's risk reward, and then there's just risk. No reward. Like I hit a great shot and I still get punished for it. That's tough. Especially as a virtual golfer. You know, that's tough. But at the same time, that's golf, baby, you know? Same time, that's golf. All right, this is what we're going out on. This is 18 back-to-back par fives. We're bringing driver here. Oh my God, I actually took it. We can't make it there anyways. Oh, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. Because that was like the perfect drive right there. Play it up though. This is pretty good coming in as well. Good sloping here on the green. A little bit of protection there. I mean, you definitely don't want people going for it in two. And I respect that. I mean, long par fives, perfectly fine. Coming back into the clubhouse though. Clubhouse looks pretty good. Like this is a great view coming in on 18. We're plopping her right on down there. We're finishing her out with a birdie. Okay, here we are. 9 under par is what we shoot today. Hey, the course was fine. It played fine. There's definitely, you know, some areas that I think could definitely, I guess you got to watch out for not having like a complete identity or lacking consistency, because it was kind of inconsistent at times. Big sprawling greens, extremely like tiny greens. Sometimes there's fairway, sometimes it goes straight into rough. Sometimes you get really creative with your bunkers, and sometimes they're just like little circle bunkers that you just kind of plop in there. I think getting a little bit more creativity, given the course, a feel of its own is good. And you did that. You did that. The rock croppings were all really good. I think the design played really well. I would probably design a course. Something that you need to start doing is design a course for all types of players. You want people to come in at all skill levels using all types of clubs to be able to play your course comfortably. If you get into a position where it's like you got to be using the big driver, or here's this bunker that I laid down in the fairway that's just there for, the longest driver or the second longest driver. That's designing a course for a certain club set. You want to design a course around all different club sets. So I think that's one thing just to keep in mind when you're designing a course. Not only the person who designed this, but just designers in general. But that is Whispering Pines. Again, made by John Gelsinger in the comments. If you guys want to go out, give this a play. I mean, I think that the golf played well. I mean, I would recommend people to go out and give this a shot. If you have any other feedback you want to give, that's what the comments are down there for. Or if you want to tell me, hey, I went out and beat your score, you suck at golf, you can do that as well. But for me, that's all she wrote for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Greatly appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on the video. Helps with the algorithm, helps the channel out. I would greatly appreciate it. And more of these will be coming. I have a list of courses that people have asked for feedback on. So you're going to get it. You're going to get that feedback that you wanted. Hopefully you enjoyed this format. Hopefully it helps designers out there just to get into the mind of somebody, who just sits and plays the game of golf. But I hope you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I will catch you on the next one.